Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition here, another month, I should say, of the LiuLi Cup number 36. I'm, of course, StarCraft VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to something a little bit different here. The LiuLi Cup, of course, we have been covering month to month, of course, especially when it comes to the previous couple of months of LiuLi, but we weren't able to cover this event live. We spoke about it before, but right now we're like overbooked. We're casting so much StarCraft every single day, and we're getting there are other events that we can cast, but we can't because they're overlapping, right? Like there's just too much. There's just too much StarCraft happening at once. So unfortunately, we weren't able to cast this live. This happened a week or so ago. We weren't able to cast this live, but now we're here to cover this via replays to catch up on events that otherwise already took place. Also, on top of that, there was never an English cast. There was no English cast for this event, so again, that's why we're jumping in. At the time, we were covering, again, another tournament, more StarCraft, so here, we're catching up. We're catching up with your first English broadcast of LiuLi Cup 36. Let's go. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Now, for those who are curious, what is LiuLi Cup? LiuLi Cup is an event organized by LiuLi, by Saber. He's a Chinese caster, a Chinese content creator, and again, did cover this event live in his native language. We're here to bring it to you for the first time in English, and we can switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket itself. It is an 8-player invitational. LiuLi Cup, they do host on a regular basis, big invitationals, and we have our lineup here ready for you. From the top, Bunny versus Trigger, Shin versus Zhao, Creator versus Gumiho, and Cure versus Byun. Oh boy, that's going to be 4 Terrans, 3 Protoss, and 1 Lone Zerg. I'm hoping that Shin can have a deep run here so we can have a little bit of diversity in the LiuLi Cup, but honestly the lineups here are pretty stacked, and it's going to be an intense tournament. It's going to be an intense tournament here. Now, this is going to be day 1 of the broadcast. We're going to be covering day 2 tomorrow. The reasoning for this is because we're casting every single match, and because the semifinals are best of 5s and the grand finals are best of 7. So today we're going to be covering all of the best of 3s, so 4 best of 3s here tonight, tomorrow the best of 5s, and the best of 7 thereafter to crown our LiuLi Cup champion. Oh, let's go, Papi, let's go. Yeah. I was currently casting about 26 hours a day. True, Papi, true. Aye. Not like this, Papi, not like this. As always, this is our first broadcast of the night. Later on tonight, we're going to be casting the Rex April Madness, so that's going to be later on this evening. Of course, tomorrow we wrap up the finale here of LiuLi Cup 36, and what I will say also is, as a bit of a teaser for tournaments to come, LiuLi Cup 37 we're going to be covering, I believe, next week, and that is going to be featuring Scarlet. Scarlet is very inactive nowadays. Scarlet doesn't really compete too often in tournaments, so to see Scarlet in another event next week, exciting times here. So we'll be jumping all over LiuLi Cup at 30, I think it's 38 actually, 38 next time. Please, as we are now jumping into our first series of the night of the broadcast, we're jumping into Bunny versus Trigger. Let's go. Let us go. We have our TvP. Again, of course, Trigger we just featured in our own Sparkling Tuna Cup. Trigger did recently defeat Byun, but how does he fare against, not quite Byun, but the Bunny? As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have our Canadian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Basilisk. It is a Trigger. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself from South Korea. It is Bunny for Team Falcons. Here we go. Now again, if you haven't been watching StarCraft for the past, at this point, 6-7 months, you might not know this, but Trigger, he has been in Korea this entire time. He went to Korea pre-EWC. He went to Korea with Australia, with Future, with a Clem as well, and they were all practicing, training, improving, leading into the Esports World Cup. And Trigger, he was left behind. He was left behind, pulled a bit of a Kevin. You know, they looked around on the plane. They at one point realized, hold up, are we missing someone? Oh no. So Trigger, he has been in Korea the entire time, has been improving heavily in said Korea. I mentioned a name earlier this week. Trigger, he did defeat Byun, but we have seen Trigger more regularly, especially in PvP, defeat players like Zhao, Hero, Classic on a more regular basis, likewise against Zerg players as well. So Trigger has been really leveling up. At this point, I would say Trigger, he is the best player in North America. I would say that he has surpassed Estrella. We actually did hold a show match between Trigger and Estrella at the start of the year in January, which Trigger was able to take. And of course, since then, Estrella has gone on a hiatus. We'll see if I'm hoping that Estrella comes back for EWC, but Estrella, he has gone on a hiatus, on an indefinite hiatus. He has not confirmed any kind of retirement or anything like that. But in the absence of Estrella, Trigger has risen up. He has risen up and he has been looking like a beast. Coming up against Bunny here, it's going to be a close one. Again, Bunny is hyper aggressive. We just featured Bunny a couple of days ago in the Rex March Madness against Zaun, where Zaun was looking dominant in the mid to late game in a best of 5. If you remember this, I do recommend the VODs if you missed out on the Rex April Madness. But Zaun, he was up 2-0, and you know what Bunny did? Bunny, he was able to pull off the reverse sweep, and he all-in the hell out of Zaun 3 games in a row. 2 base all-in, different kinds of 2 base all-in, but 2 games in 2 base all-ins back to back to back to back. He was able to reverse sweep and he was able to knock Zaun the hell out. It was a crazy performance and a crazy comeback from Bunny, but clearly, like, if Bunny is pinned up against the wall, if he's up against the ropes, he's not afraid to play dirty. Nah, not afraid whatsoever. So yeah, we'll see how Trigger does handle the likes of Bunny. As for now, we do have our interesting opener. I was gonna say standard, but no, I mean, it was a gate into Cybercore into Nexus, that is true, but we have an earlier Stargate from Trigger, not a Twilight Council. Now, this is an opener that is viable. We do see this more often and more frequently on larger maps. Amygdala counts. Amygdala is one of the larger maps in the map pool, so Trigger going for the Stargate, going for an Oracle or Phoenix-based opener makes a little more sense. Now, if Bunny were to confirm this, Bunny can punish, but as you can see here, Bunny, he has not scattered whatsoever. No SCV scout, no Reaper scout, no nothing. Now, soon he will push out as he's now up to 2 Reapers. He will soon move out across map once he does have his Cyclone to defend. There we go, the Reapers are on the way, but because of this, Bunny can't reactively make Vikings or reactively like get ready for said Phoenixes or Oracles. Not yet. He also can't punish it without scouting, of course. So Bunny's in the dark, and Trigger so far is getting away with this. Reapers, they do head in towards the main base. There's 1 Adept on patrol, but 1 Adept is not going to be enough. And the Reapers, oh, never mind. They do not rush past. They do get deflected. They do pull away. And Trigger, he will chase down those Reapers. He does chase them down. He gets 1, and he gets both. Both Reapers go down. Nice pickups here from Trigger. Now Bunny is aware of the Stargate opener. Back at home, he has his Cyclone on patrol. 1 Cyclone in the main base, and he has his Marines here at the natural as well. So Bunny, he is ready. He is prepared for the Oracles at least. But what we can see is that there's a reason why he focused on the Reapers. There's a reason why he showed his hand early, not later. And that is because he denied the Scouts. We are not making any more Skytoss units. No more Phoenixes, no more Oracles. Switch into Blink Stalkers. So again, that's why we did see a Trigger, instead of ignoring the Reapers and going for economic damage, he did focus them down to make sure that Bunny was in the dark. Bunny, he's going for a push. This makes sense. Against a Stargate opener, you are vulnerable. You don't have many units to defend. You are vulnerable to early game aggression. So Bunny being active like this, it makes sense here to try to punish Trigger. Little does Bunny know that we have plenty of Stalkers amassing with Blink on the horizon. Yeah, Bunny, he's committing. He's committing, and again, this move out would punish Phoenixes. If this was Oracle into Phoenixes, then Trigger, he'd be in trouble. Oh, do we get the bait? Not quite, but the Cyclone is going to go down. A massive pickoff already. And now he sees all the Stalkers. Now he knows. Now he's aware something is wrong. Something's... Oh no! Oh no! Oh my god, massive stasis goes off, and with that, the Medevac is going to be targeted down, and the Marines as well, and Trigger, he will completely shut this down. Oh my... Papi, calm down! Oh my god. Now the stasis does save some of these units, but again, those are massive trades, massive pickoffs, and Trigger, he's ready to punish this, ready to shut down as much as he can and focus down everything. The tanks, the Marines, we do see some support coming in to help save this, but there's no saving this. Yeah, there's no saving this here. 1 Stalker goes down, the Marines, they do get picked off. We do focus on the tanks. 1 tank, then the 2nd tank. And that's going to be everything falling here for Bunny. These are brutal losses. Looking at the new source tab here, that was 3 Stalkers. 3 Stalkers for what? For 10 Marines, 2 tanks, a Cyclone, a Medevac, 2 Reapers. Insane trades here for Trigger and Bunny. He has to get the hell out of here. Bunny is vulnerable. Bunny is exposed. Bunny has 1 tank, 4 Marines, and a bunker. Bunny's in trouble. Scary thing is, Blink just finished. Blink did just finish, which means Trigger, he can even bypass this army going to the main if he gets high ground vision. Speaking of, high ground vision is on the way. The Oracle does rotate. Meanwhile, Stalkers, yep, they head over towards the main base. There is 1 tank in position, 1 tank and 2 Marines, which means Trigger, he can still break this. Oh, does Blink in, does take a tank shot to the face. Another shot as well. Yeah, Trigger, he's pinned against the wall. He does get a Marine. Blinks out. Doesn't commit, he does blink out. Tank rotated, which means now the natural base is exposed. Again, Bunny's trying to keep up. Trying to keep up with the rotations. Tank is out of position. The bunker is gonna go down. Boys are being pulled to repair. Not fast enough. Bunker falls. The Marine's gonna be picked up. And again, the tanks are still rotating down to low ground. The tank's just now repositioning. Boys are being pulled away. Mining is denied. And behind this, double expand. Behind this, third base fully saturated, fourth base on the way. Trigger, he's got double the base count here of Bunny. He has full map control. Behind this, charge on the way. +1, Robo, Temple Archive, Storm, potentially Colossus production. Blinks in. Can he deny Stim? Oh, no shot. Okay. No. Stim is exposed a little bit, but thankfully Stim is not going to be denied. That would be a brutal pickoff. This Trigger is keeping up. Once again, rotating to set low ground. Bunker is rebuilt. Bunny now looking a little bit more secure. And again, Trigger doesn't have to break him. As a reminder, Trigger, he does not have to push into these bases. I would even say it would be a mistake if Trigger were to blink in and try to focus on a tank or a bunker. Like, there's no need for that. Trigger can just play it safe, play it calm, cool, and collected. Does get one more Marauder for nothing. He does blink away. And Trigger, he's enjoying a greater economy, taking up, massing up a greater army as well. And again, there's nothing pressuring Trigger to push in. Building up more Zealots, staying on a 3 gas count. Temple Archives is now done. We have still yet to invest into any splash damage, which is my biggest concern. Whether it's Storm or Colossus, what have you. One would be ideal. As Bunny does break out, he does get 1 Stalker. He's going to get 2. Second Stalker falls. Third Stalker falls. Oh my god. 3 Stalker kills, not bad. There's another Stim. And he does get a 4th Stalker, and even a 5th Stalker as well. Zealots have to respond to this. Bunny overextends. Like, Bunny, these are good trades, don't get me wrong. He picks off a lot of Stalkers, more than should have. But he's heavily overstimmed, and now here comes Trigger with his mass wave of charge slots. Yeah, these tanks are along for this world. The first tank goes down. Mine shots going off, we get some decent connections, but Trigger, he will completely overwhelm this army. He will swallow it up. The tanks, the Widow Mines, the Bio, the Marines, Marauders, everything goes down at the same time, warping into the main. And Bunny, he's just too far behind. He cannot keep up. GG gets called, and Trigger will take game number 1. GG. Hey. GG, well played. Trigger, he does claim the first game, does take a lead in the series. Just catching up with the chat. But yes, Trigger does take a lead, and again, a very strong showing here by Trigger, but there was a lot of mind games. Like, there's so much that came into that game. As a reminder, winding it back, remember, it was a Stargate opener, which did get scouted, but the follow-up was hidden. Remember, Trigger, he was going Stargate, then bam, hard switch into Blink Stalkers, and Bunny was baited. He was baited into pushing, into attacking. Bunny believed that he was going to be punishing a Stargate opener. Little did he know that there were mass Blink Stalkers waiting, and by the time he got across the map, even if the stasis hadn't gone off, Trigger, he was going to shut him down. He was going to completely shut him down, and he did. The stasis did seal the deal, and after that failed early game push, that was almost game then and there. From that point, Bunny, he fell far behind. He lost his he lost his upgrade advantage, or I should say, sorry, his army advantage, his army lead, and from there he was contained. He was being bullied, and Trigger snowballed out of control. GG, well played. Just catching up with the chat. Hi for Scarlet, 100%. I look forward to it. It's been so long since I've casted Scarlet. So long. Oh, padrino, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Like, for my new PC, yo, let's go. Congratulations. Congrats on the new PC. Buenas. Road to EWC. Saludos de México. Ah, saludos, papi, saludos. Darkin también. De México. Ah, let's go. Oh, is that BB's emote? Let's go. Yo, shout out to Enki, Skros, Pacheca, and BB. They've been producing a lot of content together. It's been really cool to see. So as us, I was a lot of zealots. And here we go. We're jumping in the game. Número 2. Let's go. Let us go. As game 2 is going to be on Frostline. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have our Canadian Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Basilisk, leading the series 1-0, it is Trigger. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player from South Korea, representing Team Falcons down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Bunny. We go. Here we go, as we are going to be settling in. So far, so good. And we'll see how Bunny responds. Now, as a reminder, the last time I brought this up at the start of the broadcast for good reason, and now time to bring it up again. Last time Bunny was up against the ropes, he did just capitulate to the pressure and he just committed to non-stop 2-base all-ins. So we'll see if that happens here. As a reminder, this is a best of 3, so one more win is all the Trigger needs. If we did see an all-in, though, I'm a little bit concerned. First things first, double gas opener into a faster factory, so a much more aggressive start here by Bunny. But what I'm concerned by here is the map itself. Welcome one and all to Frostline. Here on Frostline, the rush distance by ground is longer. It is a larger map, so because of that, if we were to go for a 2-base all-in, it would take longer to get across the map. It'll be easier to scout, easier to recognize, and easier to prepare for. Kind of. It's a bit of a give and take. We have seen aggression succeed on this map, and the reasoning for this is because of how difficult it is to defend and to secure these bases. I'm referring to the 3rd base and the 4th base as well. Here we have these very large ramps coming into the triangular 3rd, likewise large ramp coming into the linear 3rd base as well. Because of this, the aggressing player can actually have a very large concave into the expansion and can be quite difficult to defend. On top of that, there's also this alleyway, this entrance in between the bases, in between the 3rd, the 4th, and the natural. There's another entrance here, there's another crossroads, if you will. So as the aggressing player, you can rotate easily between them. You can try to catch your opponent out of position, and we have seen a lot of players struggle and fail to defend on 3 bases, specifically on 3 bases. It'd be quite difficult to defend, even on 4 bases as well. I mean, even more difficult on 4 bases. So we'll see who's going to be the aggressor. We'll see how our players do adjust. For now, when it comes to the more aggressive start, there's the initial factory. We do open up Double Reaper Hellion. We have our tech of choice here from Trigger going for a Twilight Council, not a Stargate. Okay, so Twilight Council opener here out of our Canadian Protoss. Most likely into Blink. The Reaper did scout. The Reaper confirmed. So now Bunny, he's fully aware what's going on. He's aware it is going to be a more safe, robust start. He backs off and he's turning this opener into a Widowmine drop. Now, he did invest a little bit more heavily this time into this kind of aggression, right? He made a Hellion instead of another Widowmine, so 2 Reapers, 1 Hellion. The goal here should be to bust into a mineral line, to scout the natural, to scout the main base, to maybe get some probe kills. These units early on don't really scale too amazingly into a longer game, so we'll see what they can get done. As there's only 1 Widowmine. Okay, only 1 Widowmine. We have reactive marine production here. We'll see how this drop comes together, if we only go for the singular Widowmine drop, or if we load up that medevac with marines as well. Tank production has already begun here for Bunny. Interesting. Yeah, you can see the marines, they're massing up, ready for the drop. Back across the map, how many gateways? We have 1 gateway done, we have 2 gates on the way. It's going to be 3-gate blink here from Trigger. Let's go. You're a cross enjoyer as well. Let's go, let's go. Where's the Enki emote pack? ¿A dónde está mi hermoso? Mi Enki. Ay, ay, ay. The only one you're missing. But thank you so much, thank you so much. Good to see some support from Mexico. Good to see. As we do have our drop into the main, and yeah, it's a little bit of a Frankenstein drop here. It's 1 Widowmine and 4 Marines. We'd often see 6 Marines, but Bunny, like, his production was delayed, it was a little bit disturbed. Not the cleanest drop here, but does head into the mineral line. Oh, shot going off. Oh my god, getting 2 probes. 2 workers go down, a 3rd, 4th worker does get targeted. At the same time, Hellion Reaper does poke in, but alas, Trigger, he does deflect. So Trigger, he deflects the initial Reaper Hellion. He will chase down both Reapers, so both Reapers go down. But overall, I would say a successful drop. I mean, the medevac survived, every unit survived, the Marines and the Widowmine. Very nice drop here by Bunny. Gets full workers, pulls out, gets away. But now it's time to counterattack. Now Trigger, he is expanding behind this, and remember, Trigger, he does get the Warp Prism, so he can reinforce across the map. This is a more aggressive variation of 3-gate Blink, and Bunny, oh, he is in a bit of trouble here. He has to race back home. He has one tank on the low ground. The main base is more exposed though. Now again, this is not an all-in at a Trigger. He does expand, he is saturating, but if you're committing this hard, you have to get some damage. Like Trigger, he's looking for damage, he's going for the bunker, the tank is a little bit too far back. Bunker does go down, and blinks on the tanks, he gets one! Takes down one tank, and he doesn't quite get the other, has to pull back. Does take a lot of hits, does take a lot of damage. That's 3 Stalkers going down, 3 Stalkers for 1 tank and 1 bunker, worth it here for Trigger. At the same time, Liberator across the map, and not many Stalkers to defend. Gets 2 workers, denies mining time. Oh! Does deny mining, does delay. Likewise, Trigger looking for another way in. Oh, and Trigger, he has no high ground vision. No! He's out of range. Yeah, he's just a little bit too far away. He's out of range, out of vision. Oh, God, he cannot quite deal with this. That is a disgusting position, actually. What the hell? What the hell? Like, he's covering this area here, I believe. Oh, wait, no, okay. Back to mining. So, a very Nazi position here from Bunny. Behind the bases. Now, I believe right now it's not actually within range of anything, if not just the one patch. Meanwhile, drop into the main base. But I'll be honest, I can't see the circle. I'm blind. So far, 3 ACV is going to be going down. Nice counter damage, delays the CC. Is that covering that northern patch? Oh wait, there's a line. There's a line. It covers this patch. This one here. Okay. There's one patch that it covers. It's the one closest here to the Liberator. But meanwhile, 6 SCV kills in total. Not bad. I believe the Prism did make it back. Yeah, and you can see that's why we have full saturation at the 3rd base. Oh god, no, he's trying. God, Jesus. Yeah. That is frustrating for sure. Dark Shrine on the way. Like, the only way to deal with this would be to make a Skytoss unit, like a Void Ray or a Phoenix. Meanwhile, Bunny moving in. Yeah, and GG gets called. GG gets called. Trigger doesn't really have an army to deal with this. Again, his economy was disrupted, and Bunny does tie things up 1-1. Let's go. Whew. GG, well played. And with that, we are going to the ace match. Again, nicely done there by Bunny. He was able to wreak havoc, disrupt the economy, delay the economy, pick off some key units as well, some free Stalkers, and yeah, Trigger, he just had nothing to defend from there. It wasn't just that. As a reminder, it wasn't just the Liberator there and the damage that it was dealing, which was a part of it, but more importantly, remember, Trigger, he did heavily invest into his Stalkers, into his army, and in the end, he did get a tank, but I'm sure he was hoping for a little bit more. I'm sure he was also hoping to distract and to delay the push. But remember, he couldn't delay the push because he brought all the Stalkers home to deal with the Liberator, and he couldn't, which means he couldn't slow down the army and pick off Marines or force early sieges. Couldn't do anything about, again, Bunny's upcoming forces. With that, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game number 3. Here we go. So we're going into the ace match. Is this a new map? No, it's been around for almost a year? A year at this point? I think so. But here we go. We're jumping into our next game. This morning in the bottom left-hand corner of Leylines, we have the Canadian Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. Does that have to be a Phoenix Colossus on Frostline? I would say no. It's just, I'll be honest, we cast a lot of StarCraft here over the past year. That's the first time I've seen a player abuse that specific position. No, I've never seen that before. So, yeah, Bunny may have found a nice little spot that others haven't. And we'll see if Trigger can bring it back. So far, we are getting into the ace match. So far, so good. go. Trigger does move in. This time, economic opener out of Bunny. As a reminder, last game we did see double gas openers out of Bunny. This time it is going to be a Rax expand, economic start out of our Terran player. We go. As we do open up. Likewise, trigger behind this going to be going into his own standard opener, going for a gate into Cybercore, into expansion, into Nexus. And interesting location for the CC, by the way. Like, we spoke about how this is an economic start, and usually you have the CC a little bit further back here to float over. This is further away. I mean, on the one hand, it does mean that Trigger can't see it. He can't confirm what exactly is going on, but at the same time, it will take a little bit longer to float over on location. So, interesting start here from Bunny. It's going to be an interesting start. Again, just hiding his build from his opponent, and we'll see if Trigger does overreact. That would be the hope for Bunny. As Reaper does move out. Oh my god, now we see why. Jeez. What is happening? That is insane. Now, you've seen Björn go for 3cc before factory before. That is true. I should say 3cc 3 racks is what Björn does. This is 3cc before factory before anything else. This is the greediest build you can go for. Even Spirit is jealous of what the hell this is. That is insane. Oh my god. So insane. Like, the natural's not even done, and we already have the 3rd CC halfway done at this point. So 3cc before factory. The factory's throwing me off. If you're familiar with Björn, you'll know that Björn, he does like going 3cc 3 racks, but that's still the 3rd CC after the 2nd racks, not before the 2nd racks. So like, this is even greedier than what Björn usually does. So that is insane. Now, for those that are curious, the power of these kind of builds, when you rush into a 3rd base like this, it doesn't hit immediately. So the real strength in this build is when you get your 3rd base saturated. So you're able to make 3 SCVs at a time sooner. So you saturate your natural sooner, and you saturate your 3rd base sooner. And once your 3rd base kicks in, that's when Bunny will be able to skyrocket ahead supply-wise. Now, until then, though, he's still being quite greedy, still cutting corners, and he can still be punished. So he's not able to like take full advantage of this yet, but like it's still very, very greedy, and it still will, I mean, at least impact his 2 base saturation as well. And it's on Trigger to recognize what's going on, to figure it out, and to again try to punish and try to delay the 3rd base for as long as possible. Oh boy. So we'll see if he can. For the time being, we're just settling in. That's going to be a 2-gate opener, correct? Yes, 2-gate. So 2-gate blink into a 3rd. Trigger, he's playing economically. So because of this economic build out of Trigger, he cannot punish this. He cannot punish this. Bunny, he will be able to enjoy this 3rd TC. Trigger can try to delay the 3rd base, but trying to break Bunny early on is not an option, as Trigger is blindly playing economically himself. So I would say this is going to be favoring Bunny. Bunny is in a better position. He does have the greedier build comparing the two. And again, a lot of this is going to come down to whether or not Trigger can gain map control and delay the 3rd base at this point. As Trigger is getting into charge, getting to the forge, getting to +1, getting into his gateway composition. He does poke in. Oh! Gets a probe. Not bad. Gets 1 worker so far. Let's get 1 worker. Trigger pulling away. That could backfire because the Trigger makes an army to defend. As a reminder, again, Trigger, he's playing greedily, so Trigger doesn't have much of an army to work with. That's why Bunny, he's in a better position. He does get away with this. The most that Trigger can do right now is to delay the expansion, not to kill Bunny. Is to try to delay the 3rd base when Bunny tries to take it, because up until this point, both players are focusing on their economies. So we're still going to be building up. And from here, we do have our biotank setup here. These are really early 5-rack setups here from Bunny. Again, because of the boosted economy. Hallucination scouts. Now Trigger realizes what's going on. Now he's aware of the third base timing. But at this point, I don't know if Trigger can do anything about it. Again, Trigger, his army here is lacking. He's been skipping warp ins. Again, all in favor of upgrades, of expansions, of tech. We do see Bunny getting in position. Trigger, he is aware now. And the pressure is on. The pressure is on Trigger. Now, he could try to bypass the army. He does have the observer here at the natural location. For now, Trigger, he's teching, going for the bay. He's setting up for a run-by. So we'll see if he can try to distract Bunny here and try to slip into the mineral line or get a prism into the main base as well. Speaking of prism into the main, targets being thrown down. Remember, Bunny, he can afford this. Zealots, they get caught out, so they get shut down. A run-by is not going to be successful. But Bunny just got scattered. He's out of position. We're going for almost a pseudo base trade here as Trigger. He does hit the third. He does hit the third base, and Bunny's out of position. Let's go. The third base is going to go down. Mineral line does fall. Bunny, he goes across the map. He's going to deny the fourth, and from here, Bunny can stim into the third. Do we have a recall, or do we commit? Do we commit to the base trade? Boys are being pulled. Oh, Widowmine does go up. Bunny rushing into the third. And Trigger, he doesn't reinforce back at home. He commits across the map. Does not have NG at the natural. He does have NG in the main. So if need be, can recall back into the main base. And looks like he's going for it. Yeah, Trigger, he turns around. There's the recall into the main. Bunny moving in, pushing towards that natural. Disruptor's on the way. Up, the Nova. Does get a disruptor, never goes off. Takes down the Widowmines. Nice pickup. Widowmines do go down. Robo gets depowered for a moment. Robo's going to fall. Oh, and can Trigger deal with this? There's just so much bio. Trigger coming for us around. He comes in from behind. The boys are being pulled. And he will focus on the tank, but there's just so many Marines. Yeah, the bio army is being cleaned up, though. The charge lets it get a full surround, and Trigger, he cleans up the army. Whew. He dealt economic damage across the map. Bunny, he is crippled back at home. He defends. Likewise, while Trigger does defend. Colossal production on the way, and Trigger, he takes a lead. Hi. Trigger does take a lead. He's up in bases. He's up in economy. I say even on bases, but again, there's no saturation here at the natural. Bunny was all in, and Trigger surround was exactly what he needed. He saves the disruptor. This is a little bit cavalier here from Trigger. We can just calm down. Trigger just has to calm down, get a third base up and running, build back up his production, his army, Colossus on the way. There's nothing pressuring Trigger to push in. He doesn't need to. Doesn't need to move in. Just calm things down. Now, Bunny, he is on 3 CCs, so he can recover a little bit faster. That is true, but he is so far behind here in the worker count. He lost all of his tanks, of course. Lost most of his high-tech units. Now, what I will say is that Bunny's army here is comparable to the army of Trigger. 100%. Like, Bunny, he can still end the game with this. I don't think Bunny has much longevity in this game, but his army is still very threatening, and he can try to go for drop play, or try to knock down the expansion, try to catch Trigger out of position. He can make something happen with this army, but the longer this goes on, the better it is for Trigger. So, Bunny, he's on a timer. He's on a timer here. As Trigger moves out, Bunny reclaiming his third. Looks like Bunny does want to try to macro out of this. Trigger moving in. Once again, Zilla run by a setup here on the right hand side. Oh! Trigger will take a matchup to the face. Oh, to the Colossus. Colossus is very low. Zilla run by is coming in. Does hit the natural mineral line. SCV's going to be going down. Bunny, he has to react. It does pull away. SCV's going to be going down. Shows that Nova. Not quite available. And so far, it's going to be 6 SCV kills. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay damage. Get 6 SCVs. Bearing in mind the Trigger, he's trading minerals. He's trading out minerals. These are losses that Trigger can afford. It doesn't have to be the most efficient trades. As he does catch out the army, a massive catch. Takes down some of the bio, takes down some of the marauders. And Trigger, he reinforces, and at this point, he might just have enough. Might just have enough to break through, to bust through this defensive line. Line goes down. Mine shot on a single Zealot. Yeah, now he can commit in. We have a decent concave here, but the Nova goes off. Yeah, breaks that concave. Colossus, they go to town. The Bio Army does them in though. Where are the Zealots? Where's the Bio? Stalkers, they fall. Disruptor as well. He's going for the Colossus. And it looks like he will clean this up. Bunny with the concave pulling the boys as well. Takes down the Colossus. One Colossus survives. Trigger, he barely has enough. Ay. Now Bunny, he does save all his medevacs, and that was an impressive hold, but he did have to pull the boys, did lose a lot of SCVs in the process. And we spoke about this, like, Trigger, he doesn't have to push in. Trigger, he doesn't have to fight. Just calm down, Trigger. Calm down. He's getting a 4th. Just enjoy your economy. You don't have to send it. Just take it slow. As Bunny does have the supply lead, the army supply lead, I should say. A lot of supply are in medevacs, of course, but still a threatening army. Trigger playing with fire, that's what I will say. Poking in, these Colossus are so vulnerable. Takes down 2 Widow Mines, nice pickoffs, has to get the hell out of here. You know, Bunny, he wants that Disruptor. He's gonna get it. Disruptor goes down, massive pickoff. And that was wasteful here from Trigger. He rotates over, gets another Widow Mine, and gets another as well. Likewise, still reinforcing. Prism is on the way. Bunny down to 2 Widow Mines. Trigger bleeds out a Stalker. He has +3 on the way, saturating his 4th base. And army supplies are still very close. As Bunny's being active, this is still very tense here between the 2 players. Like, a fight can still go either player's way. Actually, I do favor Bunny here in this next fight, so Trigger has to be careful, has to pull away. No shield batteries. No shield batteries at the 3rd. That is a lot of Zealots, though. A lot of charge slots. Now getting a 3rd Colossus. Doesn't bait out the Widow Mine. Oh man, we just pulled the boy. Let's go. Bunny, he pulls the boys. I mean, again, Bunny cannot out macro his opponent, so this is the correct call, I would say. He's built up a massive army. It's all or nothing for Bunny. It was pushing into sentries. I'd be concerned we could force field, but last no sentries. It does push up the ramp. The concave in favor of Trigger. He just collapses on the army. The Colossus is so much of the back line. They shut down the SCVs. One Colossus falls, but there just aren't enough Vikings. Yeah, not enough Vikings. Vikings are going down one after the other. Zealots, they break through. And Trigger, he's done it. Trigger, he cleans up the army. It was one final push here from Bunny. GG gets called, and Trigger, he will take the series at 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Bunny, he was all in. When it came to the base trade, Trigger, he came out on top. He came out in a better position. Despite that, Trigger, he had some questionable engagements where he was maybe a little bit too excited. He pushed in a little bit too early, and Bunny was able to have some very, very incredible fights. But the reality was that the longer the game went on, it was still better for Trigger. Bunny, there was no way for him to out macro Trigger, so going for the all-in, I do fully understand it. Unfortunately, was pushing up a ramp. Unfortunately, was pushing up a ramp into a concave of 3 Colossus. It was brutal. See those Colossus go ham, and in the end, Trigger, he did claim it. GG. GG, well played. That leads us here into our next game, and congratulations to Trigger as he does take the series. Very close though, very intense. I mean, as a reminder, it all started with a base trade. I mean, it started with Bunny being hyper greedy, but then both armies miss each other. Base trade unfolded, base trade ensued, and then GG. GG, well played. Trigger did come out on top, and now we are getting ready for our next series of the broadcast. Un momento.